Okay, so now that we have a wall, we have a door. Right now, they're all drawn in layer 0. Oh, one thing that I forgot. When you made all these, when you imported everything or exported everything, you have all these other layers that's been made in AutoCAD or made in Rhino. If you can, go ahead and the last thing we'll do is purge. P-U-R-G-E, purge, like the movie. We could get rid of anything that you're not using. This is a very dangerous command because sometimes you want to keep certain things, okay? And so there's all these checks that you can do to say, I want to ignore the purging of certain items like blocks or groups or layers or whatever. This time, since it's going to be a simple, clean drawing, I'm going to say I am going to purge everything. Once you do that, come to this options. I'm kind of usually lazy about this stuff, and I don't want to confirm each object that's going to be purged. For this object, we only have 3 layers, no line type or anything. So if I did confirm everything, it's just going to ask me, hey, we have a layer name, make 2D. Do you want to purge that? And you'll just say yes. You'll have another layer name, make 2D. Do you want to purge that? Yes. And then you're done. But when you have a huge file, like you created all these different layers and stuff in Rhino, you probably don't want to go through every layer checking, like I want to purge this or purge that. So I usually just take this off and then say purge all. Once I do that, close. If I check the layers, I'm only left with layer 0, all the line type and stuff. I know I didn't have line types, but if we had more line types, it would have been nothing left except for that. So again, after the overkill, go ahead and purge. Okay, so after we purge the object, we're going to assign new layers. If you click on this layer properties, you will get this dialog box. Right in here, 0 is your default. Just like in Rhino, it says default is your default. We always get 0 in AutoCAD. We can't really get rid of that or anything. Just keep that. If you cover your mouse over this first stack of papers, you'll see that new layer, right? So there you can go click and it'll give you a new layer. In that layer, maybe we could say AR wall. We could go over and say the color is, let's say, green. Okay, and say OK. And then make another layer. This layer will say AR, architectural, door. Make this into red color. And then we'll make another layer, AR, door, swing. And that one I'll just keep it as red color. Okay. Maybe I'll make another layer and say AR threshold. Oops, cancel. AR threshold. I make that into cyan just so that we could see the little difference. Okay. Whoops. All right. So there we have a bunch of layers, very similar to Rhino. We made new layers and we kind of assigned it its own color. Okay. So, like I said, if we don't want this in the way, if you put it tab, it will lock into place, right? So now that we set different layers, we can place these objects into different layers. So if I click on this, instead of going to the bottom like we would in Rhino, we go to the top here and select the AR wall. When we do that, whoops, AR wall, it made it into this, it turned this into that AR wall layer. So the same thing, we could go ahead and take this guy and turn it into the door layer, and this guy into the threshold layer. Okay, so now we have all these individual layers that we could deal with. I know we made a door swing layer. That means that if we had already made a layer first, we can go ahead and make that the active layer, door swing, and then start drawing into this layer. So when we're doing that, like this door swing, what we're going to do is to draw an arc. So with the arc, there's several different points: start, center, end. We'll go start at this point, center at that point, and then end at that point. So I drew an arc that basically is already in this door swing layer. Okay, so you could either do all your line work in one layer and start converting everything into its own proper layer, or to set up your layers first and then start drawing it into those layers. And as you're working through a project, you're gonna hybridize those and go one way or the other, sometimes both.